and I just upload it and send it to y'all. And then you're going to do the editing, you're going to do the leveling, you're going to do the show notes, you're going to make sure it's uploaded on my page on time, make sure it's on iTunes and all different places. I know all that stuff has to be done. I don't got to worry about any of that. I mean, I'm like, it's a no-brainer.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about your business? What did it look like before you added podcasting to the mix?
I've actually done 2 podcasts before. It's quite a bit of work on the back end. I can create content, like no problem. It's just a bit of work. It's like the uploading, it's the editing, it's this, it's that. I think that may have been 2 of the reasons I stopped doing it. Because number one, my first podcast, it was like a daily podcast. So of course that kind of gets crazy. And then the second one, I didn't really have a strategy behind it. Now, it's just more strategic. So Jonathan gave me a really solid strategy of how to do it, how I can do like 1 episode a week and really how to maximize on that. And then all I got to do is create the content, send it in, and I'm like done with it at that point. So it really just kind of simplified the whole process. I love Jonathan and Rachel. They're so efficient with the process that sometimes they get ahead of me. Sometimes Rachel's like, hey, we're ready to, edit the new episodes. Like, you're ready. And I'm like, oh my God, I do got to get them over. So they're like so efficient. It's like unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it before. It's crazy.
Did your past experience thinking like, you know already what to expect and that you can do it, would that maybe have prevented you from buying?
I think it was more the fact that he was going to do all of the stuff that I knew had to be done. I think that was a selling point alone. I enjoy creating content. Like if I can just whip up a phone and create the content or get on video and create the content, and that's all I got to do. And I just upload it and send it to y'all. And then you're going to do the editing, you're going to do the leveling, you're going to do the show notes, you're going to make sure it's uploaded on my page on time, make sure it's on iTunes and all different places. I know all that stuff has to be done. I don't got to worry about any of that. I mean, I'm like, it's a no-brainer.
What have you seen now that you've changed and added this new format to your business?
The podcast, it really helps with like warming up your clients. So sometimes people have to get multiple touch points, and we sell like a premium price offer, but I think it's still the same thing, whether you're selling something premium or like a lower price ticket type of thing. People have to be more warmed up. So I'm gonna give you a prime example. I have a gentleman named Charles. So when Charles and I spoke the first time, he wasn't ready to get started. So he messaged me one day. He was like, yeah, man, I just been following the podcast. I'm about ready. So then when he was ready, he was like, let's go ahead and do it. But he had just been plugged into the podcast on a week-to-week basis. And a lot of other people do the same exact thing. So now once they get on the phone with you or somebody on your team, they're like, wow, I get to work with this dude, or wow, this is the person I've been listening to. If it's free stuff, it's this good. I can only imagine what the paid stuff is good.
What specifically do you like most?
I didn't have to go out and get my own graphics made. I didn't have to get all that stuff submitted. They probably put at least an hour, and that's being conservative, into each episode. So if I'm doing 4 episodes a month and it's costing me at least an hour, let's just say an hour, and I value my time at a minimum of $1,000 an hour, that means that's 4 hours per month that I'm saving. Mm-hmm. So that's essentially $4,000 that I just saved per month. It's going to take me more time to do editing and all that, but I'm just saying an hour. So that's $4,000 per month that I'm saving times 12. That's almost $50,000 that I save.
Just because you have a podcast and you put it out there doesn't mean that anybody's going to listen.
Bingo. Right? So you really got to understand the science behind it, because not only do they provide the amazing service, but Jonathan, he's the king of podcasting. So he understands the ins and outs of it. He understands the strategy. He understands all the way down to what should you call the podcast? How should you position the podcast? Your subject matter, like the whole 9 yards. Because you can have a good podcast, but your name may keep people from watching it. So if people scrolling through podcasts and they see your name, okay, why should I even listen to it? All the way from just us coming up with the name, the tagline, the intro and outro, the direct marketing aspect with inside of to help you generate leads and clients and stuff like that. So it's not like we're just doing it for you, like as far as the technical stuff, but like even on the strategy standpoint to really monetize it, Jonathan really brings that to the table really, really well as well.
So would you say you're receiving more clients or just better clients?
I would say a little bit of both, because it kind of ties in together.
Are there 3 other benefits that you can think of that you haven't mentioned yet that might be part of this do-it-for-you service?
I would say simplicity, because I like to keep things super simple. So simplicity is key. Just the responsiveness. I mean, I can send an email that seems like Rachel never sleeps. Super responsive, so it's always there for you and always just over-delivering. When it comes to services, it's easy for people to kind of shortchange you, especially in this internet world. But what I've seen consistently over and over and over and over again is that they always over deliver. They're always looking at how can I give more? What can I do more? Like even recently with the stats updates, like even them just taking the extra mile of like, hey, we figured out a way to go through and show you your top rated podcast episodes. So now you can see what your audience like most. So now you can create more content around this particular subject matter based on that. And they didn't have to do that. They could have charged more just for that, right? But they was like, hey, we just want to over deliver. We just want to continue to up level the game. So I think over delivering for sure. They're always like, how can we make this thing even better? Jonathan, his focus is so focused in on just how do I make this better? You know, it just continues to get better and better and better. And I'm excited to see what else. Even if he gave me something recently, was like, hey man, do this and it's going to help you increase your downloads. I did it, and then just like you said, it helped increase the downloads.
How likely are you to recommend the Done It For You service to others?
I've actually sent some people his way already, so highly recommend it. I mean, because it's a no-brainer. I mean, you definitely want to have a podcast to your mix. It's not about doing more as an entrepreneur. It's about doing less. So it's like, if you're going to get somebody to do it, why not get the best person in the world? It's the king of podcasting, right? You don't get any better than the king. So he's highly recommended in my opinion. That's my guy. I really got a lot of respect for Jonathan. I love what he's doing. Him and Rachel and the rest of the team, I think it's awesome. So they're definitely highly recommended in my book.